A quick reaction to Real Madrid versus Atletico.
Luis, what a game!
Yes, Danny, was a fantastic game. Really excited. Both sides play very well, we have to say like this, but in the end it was Real Madrid who decided the most, or at least arrived to the last part of the game with more strength. You could see that the Atletico Madrid players ran out of legs after maybe 75, 80 minutes. But to be honest, so if you can manage to score 3 goals against Real Madrid, the only thing that you have to be sure is to concede more. And it was only 5 minutes away from winning the game. And Atletico Madrid got exposed, got open. Jimenez arrived very late against Vinicius. You know, that is sharp, that is quick, and open spaces, you know, is very dangerous. And you concede that 3rd goal. So I think that overall, Real Madrid deserved to win tonight. And
the last statement by Luis Garcia is a fair point. Real Madrid deserved to win tonight. Also, he said Atletico players lost their legs out of 70-75 minutes. Like, why? Because Atletico only played 45 minutes. Like, first 45 minutes, Atletico played really well. In fact, if you talk about first half performance, both teams played really well. Like, back and forth, back and forth. And to be honest, it was really exciting for neutral fans. Maybe not for Madrid fans. Like, for us, it was nerve-breaking. Like, it's too much. Like, we don't want to concede so many goals. Back to my point that I made. Atletico was playing really good at first half, but in second half, they went back to their old self. Like prime Atletico. Just defend. 11 players in the defense. In second half, we did not see much more because all they're doing is like 11 park the bus. 11 players in that defense. That's all. We're just having balls. We're having a lot of position. We're having difficulty to attack because they were so defensive. So when you just defend, you don't run much, right? So how do you become tired after 70 or 75 minutes?
Luis, who caught the eye for Real Madrid today? Who impressed you?
Well, I think that today, once again, Rudiger made a fantastic game. He was so solid. He managed to score a goal, but also he made a fantastic, on the build-up, was helping very, very much the team with very good passes into between the lines, so trying to find Bellingham sometimes, Valverde, and a couple of times Vinicius Jr. over the head. And also Carvajal, impressive once again on the right side. It was quiet the first 45 minutes, knowing that Atletico Madrid was going to press very high. But in the last part where the Real Madrid needed the most, he was the owner of that right side. Arriving in second line, we saw him put in one fantastic ball for Rossello in the 4th goal, but definitely was fantastic just stopping Lino in the first half for Atletico de Madrid and assisting in that 4th goal.
Among Real Madrid's best player, I do agree those players were crucial today. Rudiger was insane today. I mean, he's been our best defender so far this season, right? Because of him, one of the reasons why we're conceding so few, he's so gigantic, so colossal at our defense. And today, he was not only good at defending, he also scored our first goal from a header. Next, Carvajal was also insane today. I mean, look at his stats. I think he created 4 chances and 1 big shot. That is really great for him. One thing I would say, last season, I got to admit, I was wrong. Like I said, I think in one of my video, or maybe multiple videos, that Carvajal doesn't deserve to play football now because he's old, he doesn't perform well. Well, right now, I have to eat up my own word. I was so wrong. The last point I said, the best player were neither of those 2 players. There's another player who is best player for me today, or man of the match, who I'll mention towards the end of the video.
In the final on Sunday. Shaka, looking at Kepa, obviously brought in because of the injury to Courtois. Hasn't been super solid. I know he's been out injured for a while, but it is a big question mark when you look at how far Real Madrid can go, for example, in the Champions League this season. Can they win it with a Kepa in goal?
Short answer to that is no, and this performance doesn't do anything to change your mind about that. But then, lad, you kind of knew that coming in. You know, when Real Madrid didn't win the Champions League last, let's remember the role that Courtois played. And for me, established himself as the best in the world. Now, you're asking Kepa, who was out of favour for so long at Chelsea, to come in and all of a sudden fill that void. I don't think there's a goalkeeper in the world that can fill that void, let alone one who may be second choice at a Premier League club. So it was always going to be a big ask. And truth be told, I don't think there's an awful lot between him and Lunin. I'll be honest, I kind of prefer Lunin. So it's this odd dynamic that Ancelotti's having to balance between both those two kind of vying for the shirt, knowing full well that while Courtois is out for the longer term, the minute he's fit again, you're both on the sidelines. So it's an odd one for Ancelotti, but it is what it is at this point.
So regarding Xhaka's first point, that a player who can make his place at Chelsea, how come that player be a starter at Real Madrid? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Lunin was fantastic. And how do you play Kepa over Lunin? That doesn't make any sense to me. And if you look at our goals today that we considered, first goal, okay, first of all, there was a mistake by Rodrigo. Again, why Rodrigo is defending here? There should be someone taller who should be defending. So it was a free header for Atletico. And besides that, what's Kepa doing? Have you noticed, have you watched the clip? He was literally watching the ball going in like this. A goalkeeper should dive in at least. Try your best. No. And the second goal we considered, yes, first of all, the mistake was done by Modric. I think that's a bad defending. However, I think Kepa should have saved that goal. I think Lunin would save this goal any day. And third goal, Atletico wasn't doing anything in second half, right? They were not a good threat at all. However, Kepa decided to be the guy, okay, I'll score for Atletico. I'll make this match more exciting for Atletico. That's a horrible goalkeeping. I hope that this is the last match Kepa played for Real Madrid. I know that many of you are a big fan of Kepa. I don't know why. I haven't seen any talent or anything whatsoever in him. I think Lunin is far better. Xhaka said there is not much difference between these two goalkeepers. I disagree respectfully. I think Lunin is far better than Kepa.
Keeper, got a dodgy back line, a dodgy front line, injuries, you name it, and they're still in the final of this, in the Champions League, top of the league.
Yeah.
Yes, Bellingham has covered a lot of the tracks for sure, but I think without his experience in Nous, running the club with all those problems, I don't think there's a doubt that they would be where they are.
Listen, I couldn't agree more with Craig here. Like this season, Real Madrid has one of the worst injuries ever in Europe, right? And then you have all the obstacles. Alongside that, we don't have complete squad. We don't have a proper 9 striker, right? I mean, top-notch number 9. We don't have that in our squad, given Benzema left. So, despite all the problems, we're still top of the league. And what I have been seeing in this team, it's been a miracle to me, to be honest. One thing I'll say, if you look at our performance in 21-22 season where we won the league and Champions League, it was one of the most surprising campaign in Madrid history. If we win Champions League and La Liga this season, I think this season will replace that season in terms of surprise and shock.
Real Madrid obviously will want Osasuna over Barcelona going into Sunday's final, Luis, but you feel whoever they face, they'll be the favourites?
I think so. At the moment that Real Madrid encourages make a fantastic point, it doesn't matter what happened with this Real Madrid, the injuries, the problems outside, it doesn't matter how they face it. If you concede 3 goals, they manage to overcome any kind of situation. That mentality that they have, we've seen it year and year again when they won the 3 Champions League. Because of that process, you realize that this Real Madrid, the mentality and the background that they have, when they are there, when they have to win a trophy, you know that they are always going to be favorites, because it doesn't matter if they're going to be ahead or behind the score. They know that they can win the game. So, yeah, I think that if it's Barcelona or Osasuna, Real Madrid at the moment is favorite.
So we have to wait until tomorrow to see who we will play against, Barca or Osasuna. It doesn't matter who we play against. Personally, I would prefer Barcelona because El Clasico is much more fun than playing against Osasuna. So hopefully Barca qualifies for me because it will be more fun and good for football, right? Also, in terms of players' performance today, for me, the man of the match, it was Fede Valverde. Every time Real Madrid lost the ball or Atletico is attacking, he will stop them. He was literally everywhere, in defense, even in attack, at midfield, everywhere. Like, he was so amazing to watch. I would argue that among all the midfielders today, he was the only midfielder today who was playing 100% with passion. Like, he wants to do something. He wants to create something. Even Cruz wasn't playing at the beginning of the match. He was doing those long passes today. Among other players who performed really well today, Rudiger, I already mentioned, Carvajal, already mentioned. But the player, I think for me, who made a difference today for gameplay was Brahim Diaz. Yes, Camavinga also crew substitutions made a huge impact for our tactics or gameplay. However, the main guy for me was game changer was Brahim Diaz. I think I have been talking about this player almost every reaction videos. And there's a reason for that. I say what I see because whenever I see him playing, he's doing something different. He's creating chance. He's always active. And besides, he has high work rate. And look at the goal he scored with Oblak, the race between Oblak and Brahim Diaz. It reminded me of like F1 car versus a Ford truck. Like this was one of the craziest things I think we have watched this year. So I have to repeat my point. Brahim should be playing at the starting 11. How? That we have to make a change? I don't know what, but Carlo have to decide that because he's the coach. Another point I said tactically, I think Vinicius came back, right, from injury. So as expected, we did not see the sharp Vinicius. He was having problems in the match. However, one thing I think what we should have done, we should not have played him for that long. We should have subbed him off after 60 minutes. Now you can ask why? Because he's a player who just came back from injury. So you don't want to take the risk, right? You want to keep him safe because he's one of the fundamental player for this squad. Anyway, let me know what did you think about our performance today in the comment section below.